Hello, Kelsey Taylor here. Welcome to part 5 of my top 50 favorite films. Make sure this is still recording. And yeah, I know I said a couple weeks ago, I was supposed to do like a couple weeks ago or however long. From now on, I won't say anything like that. It's just life, the holidays coming around the corner, and everything. I just needed to find the time to do these kind of videos because I can't film stuff when my mother is home. It's just, it's some stuff that I'm supposed to keep private. You don't hear in the background, so that's pretty much why. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited to talk about numbers, right? Yeah, 10 through 1 of my favorite movies. Like 10 of my 50 favorite films. And since this is the 5th and final part, I can't wait because these are the 10 movies that mean the most to me, the ones I watch a lot, and a handful of them I've been watching growing up, like all my life, like almost all of them. Yeah, pretty much. So, but these are the ones I'm very excited about. Now, a couple of these, it's too obvious. I don't need to go into a lot of details about them, but I'll just tell you, pretty much a little bit why they're my favorites in my opinion. Alright, let's finish this off. Number 10, Mean Girls. Oh my god. I can't tell you how much I'm obsessed with this film. A lot of people probably know that. Mean Girls stars Lindsay Lohan, and she's a new student in this high school who previously lived in Africa, and she meets up with a group of teenagers known as the Plastics, which are like the snotty bitches of the school, and all the things that go on during her time there at school, like during her, I think, her junior year or something like that. And very funny movies, so quotable, and I believe they play it on TV more often, and it's just one of those I remember seeing this in theaters with a friend of mine, I believe when we were in the 4th grade, and I was so obsessed with it and immediately fell in love with it. Mean Girls is one of my all-time favorites. I can't live without it, to tell you the truth. Number 9 is my favorite David Spade movie of all time, and it's The First Joe Dirt. The second one, don't even bother with it. The First Joe Dirt is a very funny, heartfelt film. It's mostly about Joe Dirt telling his story about how he got left behind at the Grand Canyon when he was a kid, and then years later he decided to go on a hunt for them. And during the journey he comes across all crazy stuff. If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. Coming across Christopher Walken, as well as Brandy and her dog Charlie, and all these things. If you haven't seen Joe Dirt, this is definitely one I highly recommend. It's like my favorite kind of comedy. It's one of my all-time favorite comedies too. Number 8 is one of the first films I remember seeing. I started watching movies when I was at a really young age, and it's one of the first movies I've seen. Is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I grew up watching Pee-wee. I grew up with Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I grew up watching Pee-wee's Playhouse. I've always adored Pee-wee Herman. All my life, I've always adored him. He's one of my idols, and this is definitely a really slapsticky, it is slapstick, but it's a very charming 80s comedy. I believe Tim Burton directed this film. It's his very first movie he's directed, and it's really one of my favorites he's done, and Pee-wee's Big Adventure is definitely a must-see movie. Number 7 is a classic, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka. How could you go wrong? I mean, it's another one of those quotable films. It's a classic, and every generation deserves to see this movie. I'm sure by this point, though, although the movie's been taken on and off of Netflix, but Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is one of those movies they play all the time during the holidays, and I would try and find myself watching it, and it holds a special place in my heart, the original Willy Wonka. Number 6 is, I have a couple of Jim Carrey favorites, actually 2 of them, back to back. Number 6 is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Out of the Ace Ventura films, for some reason, that one's my favorite. Another one of those movies that is quotable. And Jim Carrey, I love Jim Carrey, mainly his older stuff best. He was funny and outrageous, and it's one of those comedians that I really respect, and it's a very funny movie, definitely. And I also would recommend When Nature Calls, but Pet Detective is one I watch all the time growing up, and definitely one of those movies I quote on a daily basis, mainly. Alrighty then. I mean, I'm such a Jim Carrey nut. Number 5 is one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies of all time. The one I'm most obsessed with next to Ace Ventura. And it's The Mask. I don't know what it is about it. Again, it's funny. Jim Carrey's antics, great in that. quotable, and you all know The Mask. Like, The Mask is one of those must-see comedies. Just go see it. Definitely for Jim Carrey. Even him playing as like just a regular character, like the nicest guy, Stanley Ipkiss, is very well done. You know, it shows you he can play both parts really well, such as a crazy guy with a green face as well as just a normal guy. Number 4 is a childhood favorite. I can't live without it. Is Babe. It's a movie about this pig living on the farm, and it's one of those heartfelt, sweet movies which if you haven't seen Babe, definitely go watch. It's like one of those family movies they don't make anymore. They have the animals talk, but it's not like too silly, like over the top, or has a lot of comedic references or whatever. But it's like one of those classic, timeless childhood films. I mean, I adore Babe. It's like one of those movies. Like every time I watch it, I cry to it. I mean, it's beautiful. Number 3, and oh boy, I'm gonna do it. Wayne's World, party time, excellent. Wayne's World 1 and 2. Yes, I even picked the sequel, even though a lot of people didn't like that one as much. But I'm a Wayne's World fangirl. I mean, I love the SNL skits. Mike Myers and Dana Carvey have a great chemistry as Wayne and Garth, and both these movies are filled with funny jokes. Again, quotable lines, memorable scenes. The first one, you know, is the best one, but I even like the second one as well. I don't know why. It's just, you know, as long as Mike Myers and Dana Carvey play their characters, I'm okay with that. And hopefully at some point, you know, they would team up again. Maybe we can get a Wayne's World 3. Hopefully. If Bill and Ted 3 did so well, how come we can't get Wayne's World 3 too? Well, one can hope. Number 2, and if you've been watching my channel, of course it's obvious, you know, which movie I would pick. The Lion King. The original Lion King. And no joke, this was, I think, the very first movie I have seen. I was like a year old when this came out, so yeah, saw it in the theater, and it changed my life forever. I mean, this is what I think of when it comes to Disney. You know, a great story, so powerful, memorable, and the animation, of course, is beautiful, and everything about The Lion King, I just love. You know, I don't know where I would be without it, honestly. And you all know about that. And the animated one, definitely must see. And Disney movie, animated movie, everyone should see. I'm sure everyone has seen it already by this point, you know. So, yeah. Now, number 1, it's kind of weird. It's not necessarily, like, number 1 movie. I would just, like, probably pick all 3 of them as a whole. And it's another one that makes me who I am. The Austin Powers trilogy. I just can't pick one. The first Austin Powers movie, International Man of Mystery, it's like one of those movies I'm obsessed with. The Spy Who Shagged Me is really funny with Meanie Me and Fat Bastard. Third one, Goldmember. It was a great experience for me seeing it in the theater when it first came out. I remember seeing it on opening day with my mom, and I'm an obsessed Austin Powers fangirl, okay? My ringtone has the Austin Powers theme on it, and I don't know why, like, Austin Powers is my all-time favorite film. Mainly the first one, and I just have to pick all of them because I'm such a massive fan. Mike Myers playing the characters like Dr. Evil, Fat Bastard, Goldmember, and Austin Powers, and quotable and memorable. I can remember all the characters' names, like Number 2, Scott, Mimi, Ralph Bisna, Alada Vagina, Basil Exposition, Vanessa Kensington, Felicity Shagwell, Foxy Cleopatra. The list goes on. I can go on and on and on telling you about, like, some of my favorite scenes in that movie, but it's just you know, I'm just obsessed with Austin Powers, and Mike Myers being one of my favorite actors, and I wish he would do, like, more stuff. Like, I wish he would work on the 4th Austin Powers movie, but I don't know. Ever since Vern Troyer died, I kind of lost hope, to tell you the truth, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see something with Austin Powers again. Maybe a Netflix series. I can live with that. So, that's it. That's me talking about my top 50 favorite movies, and I have split into 5 parts, and it's all done. You know, and over time, hopefully, there'll be more movies I would like that I could add onto the list, or maybe if people are doing, like, top 100 favorite movies lists, like, once again, I'd probably split it into multiple parts. Nah, but I just want to talk about 50 of my favorite movies that mean a lot to me and the ones I've watched a lot. And I'd like to know your thoughts on some of these movies I've talked about over the course of these videos. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Adios.